I was 17 years old and pregnant with a child. My big objective was, when I started this whole process, was to make sure that the child was raised in a Christian environment.
Christy chose to have a closed adoption through AGAPE, and her son Ben was adopted by Mark and Marla Corlews. A few years later, Mark and Marla decided to adopt another son through a closed adoption with AGAPE. They named him Alan, and when he was about 6 months old, he got sick and they took him to Vanderbilt Hospital. While they were there, Marla happened to meet a young girl named Stacy who had given up her own son through AGAPE.
We just sort of chit-chatted for a minute, and she wanted to hold Alan, and she had him in her arms, and I was asking her questions at that point, asking, now, when was your baby born?
Marla discovered that Stacy's son was born on the same day and at the same hospital as Alan.
And before too long, as I'm standing there holding him, she realizes we're the same. I can't imagine what she felt. That pure terror moment. 6 months in Vanderbilt, who runs into people like that?
She was holding her baby, and I was there to witness it. And in that moment, it was a scary moment for me, but it was just so big because I knew that God had orchestrated it. Moments like that don't happen without God orchestrating them.
Marla didn't tell Stacy she knew she was his birth mother because she didn't want to cause her any more pain. Many years later, when Ben and Alan were adults, they decided to reconnect with their birth mothers.
It's not a scenario I had ever envisioned, ever. It's like we always known each other. We walked in and the best hug you ever had. His family are awesome. He's a very nice young man, right where he should be with the Lord, and His help guiding me through it. Right now he's in the Philippines, again, on mission work.
When we went to the reunion to meet Stacy, Alan's birth mother, for the first time, one of the first things I asked her was, do you remember being at Vanderbilt Hospital? And she stopped me mid-sentence and said, it was you.
The reconnection was amazing. I will never forget it. I still have the message on my answering machine at home that Ben left me 2 years ago when he called and left me a message for me to call him. I will not erase the message because it's the most amazing thing.
Christy and Stacy have since developed a very close bond with the Corlews family.
Marla is an amazing woman. She has a huge heart. She has a heart of gold. And she's everything that I ever dreamed for Ben.
Absolutely.
AGAPE means a lot to me. It means true loving parents, really. I'm blessed at the fact that I grew up in a Christian home and was raised into the church, was taught about Jesus, was taught about the great love story and the ultimate sacrifice that He made.
I couldn't have picked a better father. Yeah, I mean, he's the perfect Christian man in my eyes, just like she's the perfect Christian woman.
I didn't have a father growing up or would even know what kind of list to make out. I do now.
Yeah.
We share a bond that nobody else on the earth can share. There's no one else on this earth that can share the bond that I have with Stacy and the bond that I have with Christy, because we are these remarkable, wonderful young men's mothers.
I know Stacy probably feels the same way I do, but just it takes a lot to allow another woman to come into your child's life. And I know there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of that. Because for her to open that door, it has opened a door for Stacy and I to have a connection back in our lives, to fill that void that was missing.
I just believe that God orchestrated every tiny detail of our story. I believe that He led those girls to turn to AGAPE, and He blessed us through AGAPE. He blessed Christy and Stacy through AGAPE. He blessed Ben and Alan through AGAPE. AGAPE is the tool that the Lord is using. That's what I think.